I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you.
Ready?
And you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end.
Commander, Mark is dead. We have to go now.
Hello and welcome to our third instalment of the GUB. Today we're reviewing The Martian. With me today is Kieran McAllister.
Woo! Yeah, let's do this. Can you feel it? You can't feel it, Paul.
That's cringy. Ryan Connolly.
Yeah.
Hello, my children.
And I'm Paul Welsh.
Yeah, Paul.
Prepare, strap in, and for the ride of your life.
Strap on.
Yeah. Okay, that didn't go as well as I wanted. But yeah, okay. We watched The Martian yesterday.
In 3D as well.
Well, Wednesday.
3D.
Which was
is
good
actually
3D.
2D. Because I didn't notice a thing.
There were a couple. There were a couple.
damn
ones.
thing.
The camera, when it's like the little home camera, like them coming out of you, that.
They
That-
3D
the HUD, the HUD.
3D is used for depth, and this used depth a lot in a lot of the pan shots, the cinematic shots. When it came to the particles and that stuff, you could tell there, especially where during the storm at the start of the film. Yeah, there could be will we spoil, or we'll try and keep this in the post.
Mild spoilers. Mild spoilers.
Mild spoilers, but we will give a spoiler warning beforehand. I know we've been terrible
Yeah,
with that in the past.
We've become civilized folk. We're civilized folk.
Well, see,
Well,
it's not too hard to spoil this because I think this premise is fairly simple. Matt Damon gets stranded on the planet, Mars, and a lot of that's revealed in trailers. So I think you know what's going to happen.
It is based off a book that came out 3 years ago.
Not.
So
yeah.
I think spoilers aren't too bad, but we'll keep it under wraps.
Well, it's
because-
not a 100-year book.
Yeah, it's still a really enjoyable story that I think you need to experience for yourself, especially the mid to end section, for sure. That's pretty much the peak of the movie for me, anyway.
I'm entering this log for the record. This is Mark Watney, and I'm still alive. Obviously. I have no way to contact NASA or my crewmates, but even if I could, it would take 4 years for another manned mission to reach me, and I'm in a hab designed to last 31 days. So, in the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
But yeah, we'll start with Paul. Paul, what did you think of it?
I surprisingly enjoyed it. I felt we all expected this to just be in the shadow of Gravity and Interstellar, but personally I think it went over Gravity in terms of being a conventional film. I don't think it hit the point of Interstellar, that sort of grasp, but at the same time, for what The Martian was, it did very well. I think The Martian did things better than Interstellar, but Interstellar did many things better. So I think it's not right to compare. Personally, I think all three of them are very different films.
I agree.
They just because they're set in space, you know. If you're going to say anything about space films, just Stanley Kubrick's 2001: Space Odyssey. That's you settled. You can if you want to start
the argument is solved.
Yeah, if you want to start comparing
I know
space
Space
films,
Jam's pretty good. Space Jam's a classic.
oh my god. So yeah, I don't think it's right to compare this with the other two films that came out in the last 2 years.
I think we're going to go into that a bit later in our second topic, though.
But as a film, very solid. It's for what it is, it's good. I don't think it's nothing spectacular, nothing that's like, oh my god, Ridley Scott's back, because it's not.
But it's
at all.
not Exodus.
It's not.
It's not Exodus.
It's not. It's not Exodus. It's a comfy film. Not quite comfy. It's one of those films that, for what it is, you can sit back, watch it. You don't need to really think too much about it. I think that's some people's problems with Interstellar. Interstellar's a bit heavy.
I think The Martian does the thinking for you. Sorry for just butting in. I'll let you go back to your point. But the film, quickly, just for me to say, does have quite a bit of expose. It's quite exposition heavy, and a lot of the stuff is really sort of scientific, so I can't really blame it for explaining a lot of things to the audience. In fact, I think it did a really good job with it, but I think it was almost like every character would come out with some form of exposition as to what they're doing. It was like running commentary slightly. Wasn't distracting, wasn't bad, but it was noticeable.
I think it worked. I don't feel there was anything really too bad. If you want to talk about exposition, I know I'm going back to it. Interstellar, I think a few times did that with me as well. I felt
Interstellar is the closest film that I can compare to this.
Yeah, it came to actually talking about science, because both these films like to talk about science, but
Science the shit out of each other.
science is shit out of this. Yeah.
Best
No,
quote
but
in the film.
It's quite a cheesy, cringy quote, to be honest, but at the same time it works because that's his character. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Matt Damon was fine. I think solid film. Nothing amazing, but like I said, what it is, yeah.
Okay. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of the better high budget blockbusters, especially. Because this year's been quite bipolar and disappointing.
Been shite, let's be honest. Let's not polish the turd. It's been shite.
I'm trying to make it a better way of describing it, but yeah, Kev is right. This year's been really kind of terrible for blockbusters, and we have had some stinkers, yet some big name titles that have been stinkers, which is kind of a sign that maybe, film needs to look for something else to sort of become a cash cow. But this movie, I think, I don't know how the book is, but from what I've heard, I heard that it really adapted the book true to almost every word. They cut out some stuff with Matt Damon's character, because apparently the book is a lot heavier, just focused on him. But if you were focusing on him for the entire film, it would get a bit tedious. However, he was my favourite part of the film. I didn't mind the scenes on Earth with NASA trying to help him. I didn't mind the scenes on the ship with his crew coming back to Earth, and then, having to debate their moral position, I guess. But I definitely think that the Matt Damon scenes were the best on Mars, and I think it's because Mars itself looked fantastic. Now, we've seen films where, we've seen Mars a good few times. We've seen it in Mission to Mars. We've seen it... We see it near enough everywhere. We've seen it in a Transformers teaser clip, I'm sure it's mentioned. There's all sorts of images of Mars, but this film does it beautifully. It also reminded me of, I was saying to Kevin Paul, it reminded me of the planet from Prometheus in terms of detail. Now, whatever people think of Prometheus, that's their own opinion. But one thing you cannot deny is that Prometheus and the planet looked absolutely stunning. And I think the CG work and set work was done really, really well. And I give props to the art and post-processing team. I think they did an amazing job, and I really enjoyed this film. Will I remember it in a year? Perhaps, perhaps not. But at least I got my money's worth from it.
I just want to touch on that last point. For me, it's not a memorable film, personally, because I felt there was nothing outstanding. I liked it, the story was nice, but it came as something that was sticking in my head.
Yeah.
Personally, no.
I don't think
there was nothing that really separated it.
Like, a year on from
films.
Interstellar, I'm still talking about Interstellar. A year on from now, I'm not going to be talking about The Martian, so I can see your point. Kev, what did you think of it?
I really liked it. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Of all the big budget movies this year that have been shoved down our throats, I thought this had been one of the best.
Even ahead of Mad Max?
No, Mad Max is above. But
yeah, I wouldn't have gone as far as
Mad Max kind of like, it's like bookends. Mad Max kind of like the beginning of summer, and this is sort of the tail end of summer, but everything between. Like, I prefer this over Age of Ultron, and I like my comic book movies, but this was a much easier story. Again, it's simple story. This year's
simple storytelling, but told very well.
Yeah,
very well.
Yeah, I think
that's Ridley Scott's strength. One of his main strengths is telling a story, as long as the story is there. As some films he's done recently, obviously the story was debatable, but he's also very good with characters. And while it's not shown through in some of his other previous films as well, the characters really sort of had their own life in this, I guess. I mean, some characters were kind of cliche. We had a really cliche science guy that came in at the end and worked up some maths magic to essentially.
Yeah,
Donald
this
Glover.
is, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover's character. He was pretty cliche. Didn't bother me though. I honestly don't mind.
Well, see, I think a lot of the stuff was quite cliche. Like they had the sort of uptight sort of CEO guy, who you sort
To be
of.
fair, most
who's
CEOs
sort
are
of the
kind
ant-
of dicks, so...
Yeah, but he's sort of the antagonist in a sense, in the way that he's sort of trying to go through other ways, where everyone's like, "No, we've got to save the guy."
Yeah, but you need an antagonist. You can't have everyone going, let's go do it.
Yeah,
Let's go
I
in the
agree.
rainbow."
And it's
But I'm not saying the cliches are bad things at all, because
I think
I
for
think
a
it's-
story
yeah,
like
that-
this,
that is in the
it
world.
kind of works to have maybe a few cliches, because you're going to have that cliched character that's like, well, this is the worst case scenario of what could happen,
Yeah.
etc. I just want to touch on a point where I said the science, the shit out of this was the best line in the film. It wasn't. The best line in the film for me was delivered by Sean Bean.
oh yeah,
Bean!
Sean Bean was in this film. I didn't even have a clue that he was going to be in it.
We
and
forgot.
He just
Remember in the
turns
trailer,
up.
then
we
he turns up.
forgot he was in it.
I think we actually quite...
He's only got like 5 minutes of proper screen time. When he first shows up, it looks like he's just wandered on the set.
He keeps looking
No,
going, is this my land?
he's sitting there looking around as people are talking, and it's only like halfway through the scene. It's quite a long scene.
He seems
That he finally
disorientated.
says something, but he's just sort of looking at everyone, and you see him in the camera just at the side of the shot, just sort of looking around, just listening to people. And I'm like, he looks like
Don't
he's
know
just
if
wandered
acting
in.
good or just wandered in.
Yeah,
You
he looks like
coward.
he's just wandered in, and Ridley Scott went, "Oh well, Sean Bean's here. Fuck it, let's just put him in."
He's probably having a pint with Ridley Scott. He's like, "You want to be
However,
in my movie?"
The quote you're talking about is a great quote. Take it away.
You coward.
Yeah, he calls the uptight German guy. I can't remember the actor's name.
He just does it in
German
the most
guy, what are you on
The
about?
chairman.
Sean
Oh,
Bean
Jeff, is it
way
German?
possible.
I said chairman.
Jeff Bridges. Not Jeff Bridges.
Not
that
Jeff
was not
Bridges,
Jeff
Jeff
Bridges.
Daniels.
Jeff
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff, come on,
He
that was
calls him.
close.
He calls him a coward, and you're like,
Coward.
proof that Sean Bean is and always will be a badass,
Yes.
even when he's playing as a scientist.
Sean Bean, the science guy. That's.
I really like Sean Bean. It's actually not him in more things.
Oh, I really like Sean Bean as well. Like,
Who doesn't?
You know, he's.
Who doesn't like Sean Bean?
You put him in a
He's-
film, it sells the film to me.
Yeah.
Shame he always dies in the end, but
He didn't die in this.
he didn't.
Oh.
Spoiler, Jesus, Ryan.
It's not a big spoiler, but he's a science guy. He's not.
You don't
gonna
know.
die.
People might go and see this to see if the Bean dies.
I'm sorry if it spoiled anything, but
He's
old.
such a minor role that it's.
it would be weird to give him a subplot where he dies.
Yeah.
Has
For
a
the
cardiac
hell of
arrest on the go.
I was actually saying that. I was expecting him to have some form of heart attack at the
a
end.
golfing accident.
Or a coffee accident.
I want to talk
During
about
the credits.
you said Matt Damon and Planet Mars. I think it would have to be a lot more intense movie if it was just Matt Damon. And that was like halfway, like sort of near the beginning. I was actually hoping it's just focusing on Matt Damon because I wasn't looking forward to the Earth scenes. But the Earth scenes were done really well, I think.
There's one thing I want to touch on that. In terms of being tense, I was saying this to you guys yesterday. Obviously, we know I'm not going to go on to our next subject yet, but it sort of briefly touches on it. Matt Damon also played a scientist in Interstellar, and as soon as he
Dr.
wakes up, he breaks down and cuddles and cries to Matthew McConaughey's character because he's been devoid of human contact for so long. Now, when he's initially realizes he's stranded on Mars and his crew's left him and he's got no way of communicating with them or NASA, he just sort of goes, okay, I've got to get to work, and it, literally cue the theme music. And I understand, I've heard the book is actually quite light-hearted as well, so I won't blame it if that's the route the author wanted to take. But I just don't feel that he had too much of a human reaction at times to his situation, and I know Paul's going to come in on this, but I'm sorry, a human would go crazy without contact for over,
Get the drive.
2 years essentially. They would start to lose it a bit. I Am Legend portrayed it great as well. It's just a human would lose their sanity a bit. That's a fact. You put a human in isolation for a week, they start to lose their sanity.
It's a bit like Robinson Crusoe in space, though, isn't it?
Oh, well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Does he go mad? I've not read the book, so I don't know what
Well,
happened.
see, I think it depends how long, and he's only there. He's not actually there.
He's not devoid of contact completely. He
It's not
communicates with people.
It's not like I Am Legend, where it's many years. because he isn't there many years in I Am Legend, and Interstellar he's there for many years. This it was only
A year and a half.
a year and a half. That's I think plus
With
his initial
half the year
his
being-
initial reaction, I think was a very human reaction, just going well fuck. Because Matt Damon's an everyman, this character. I think, and he's a better everyman than Matthew McConaughey was in Interstellar. Matthew McConaughey was just a walking exposition lines. I don't think it was non-character in my opinion, that film. I don't think he had any
I view Matthew
characterization.
McConaughey as the character you follow through the film. I think the main characters are his daughter and essentially space. What's going on about
I agree with that, but
That's
if you want to look at an everyman, I think Matt Damon's character in this was a perfect example of an everyman.
yeah.
So I think it's a fine reaction because I think people do go have a like weird burst of overconfidence when they're alone. I do anyway. All right, so I started connecting that way. I feel I would have reacted like a nutcase going saying I'm a pirate.
I'd have done that day one. As soon as it called me Captain Longbeard.
It took him a while to actually, but and it does actually have make connection quite early in the film, quite early in the stage.
Yeah,
so,
he's got the rover.
so I feel. I don't think I think his reaction was fine.
I think I personally just wanted maybe one breakdown. One breakdown is what all I'm asking for. But
You want a performance.
You
Yeah.
love seeing people in pain. That's why.
well, no, it's just I like a human reaction. But I didn't get it.
But not everyone breaks down. Some people just get to work and not
I
focus on it.
just didn't really feel it. I mean, you're in space. You're on another planet with absolutely no help at all.
Ah, he has the.
Yeah, but he gets that eventually.
He's got 80s music.
Yeah, he's got his disco music.
80s.
That he
The
doesn't even
soundtrack.
like.
The soundtrack was. I like
As
the
soon as,
disco.
as soon as David Bowie's Starman came on, I started singing along with it.
As soon as ABBA
Now, at the
came
same
on,
time, that's one of the most.
oh god, that song Waterloo is incredible, and just that scene was fantastic. Waterloo is an incredible song, and
Oh yeah.
it was great. Like, let's be honest, it was great.
See,
the
they used like one of the most. It was, of course, they used
It was kinda
Starman
cliched and
for David
cheesy-
Bowie to
cheesy
use
as
David
well.
Bowie's Starman. If one that, it was I don't know, fuck. They would have used Life from Mars. God damn it. So they use if they were going to use a David Bowie song, they sort of chose the pick and mix of the cliche ones for space. That's not a bad thing. Because again, this film was lighthearted, and I think there was nothing. Nothing you could really question about that. I don't think the film was very serious, and I appreciate that.
I was actually so surprised that Hooked on a Feeling didn't come on at one point, like when he was taken off to orbit.
I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
I really just was expecting that song to come on like over the boombox at some point, but never got it. But yeah, in terms of character development and the human emotion, I still loved his character, to be honest. I think it was fitting, and I liked the light-hearted tone that the film took. Because I was expecting a bit more grounded in realism, but I was like,
I think it handled
I accept
the
what the
comedy
film-
moments really well. Like the bit where he's in the rover and he's like first establishing contact and he finds out they've not told the crew. How he
Yeah.
like got around not actually cursing was great. I mean, I loved that.
Oh, that was
Where-
really good. And he's like, because
Starts miming fucking everything. No, it was 12, wasn't it?
this was a 12.
Yeah. So of course they couldn't say fuck. They don't use shit because that seems to be a thing nowadays.
They
kids like it R-rated.
They used fuck once, but 12s are allowed one F word.
Did they?
Uh-huh.
When was that?
It was one of the earlier on ones.
Was it?
I think they used it
I
right away.
Don't even remember.
So yeah, we all enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
Even though we joked it was going to be the prequel to Interstellar, it wasn't.
It took so much willpower not to lean over to you and go, the big grey men are going to come next.
To
The
be honest,
facehuggers.
there was one scene that reminded me exactly of Interstellar that also happened to Matt Damon's character in Interstellar. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I
Yeah.
died with laughter when it happened.
Let's just say Matt Damon doesn't really know how to use airlocks. Alright, that's not really a spoiler.
That's easy.
That's not really a spoiler.
Matt Damon will never get used to those airlocks.
But okay, it didn't really have the same visuals as Interstellar or Gravity. No, that not the same sort of striking. And
What was it you
No,
were saying
I-
after yesterday? You said something that got Ryan all riled up. What was it you said? Something about the visuals. Was it religion?
Oh, that was a bit Gravity. We'll leave this for later. Yeah, like Mars did look great, but
Good sidestep. Good sidestep.
Mars, he's just staring at me. Mars did look wonderful, but I think there was nothing.
Mars itself looked great, but the rest of the visuals were just sort of mid-tier. Like
They were just
Interstellar and
space.
Gravity were top tier,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
I turned to you at the start of the film because it opens up and the opening credit comes on. It's like the sun and Mars, and it's like sort of horizoned and that stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, the sun cresting over the
Yes,
planet.
that's exactly it. And I was like, and then the title card comes up, and I'm like, hey, look, it's just like Mass Effect, because the exact same
Yeah.
title card as the Mass Effect, basically.
Even some of the sounds, like when it went to like
Yes.
days were called Sol. That's a Mass Effect sound as well.
Well,
That is used
Alright.
in Mass Effect. At some
I
was-
think
point.
I
Sol's
think it
more
was
of
more
like
of-
a
it was a-
scientific term to measure.
well, yeah,
days.
it's a day.
I'm talking about sound. I'm not talking about. I know.
Sol-
I know what a Sol.
A
Like
Sol is a
53
day on Mars.
Day on Mars.
Well, not in the. It was just a basic sci-fi. The original score out with the 80s score was alright. It fit.
There was a weird thing where the music went.
It was
weird for me. Like
I think it was.
the rest of it was fine, but that just
I
those
felt like
moments
the
where it went,
composer wanted to make something really cool and scientific, but when in editing, someone went, just have it toned down, don't bring it through, and it was never brought through. And there are a couple bursts. Sometimes you could hear like a cool sci-fi riff, and it's never brought through. And I think that annoys me at times because I love hearing original scores. You know what I mean? And this one was different. From
Waterloo's playing in my head.
Fuck.
Waterloo.
Paul's just giving up on us.
So, on that note, why don't we do our final sort of roundup of The Martian
Kieran,
and
you go
what
first.
we thought of it?
I would really recommend this. One of the best sort of summer movies I'd say that's came out this year. I mean, we had the great scientific movie of Fan 4 shit, didn't we? Love that.
I didn't watch it.
I made myself depressed now. But yeah, I would recommend this. It's fun. Matt Damon's great in it. The acting overall is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all
that
good
didn't
throughout.
really-
Yeah, I don't
It's
think-
good, light-hearted. It's not like we saw Everest like 2 weeks ago, and that just left us on a downer. Jesus,
Everest was piss.
I enjoyed it enough, but
It
you
was
know,
average, but
Yeah.
nothing special.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
was-
we were going to talk about it this week for note, but we just felt it wasn't even worth.
We're going to do this.
Talking about.
A bunch of rich white men go up a mountain and it goes bad.
And it's a story you really don't care about.
It's. I
it
know
could
it's
be
like-
done an hour on Discovery. Discovery could do a documentary an hour.
The visuals didn't even look good in it. I was
IMAX already
very
did a
disappointed.
documentary 10 years ago, and the visuals were stunning because
Yeah,
they
if-
actually filmed the mountain and what happened on it.
Yeah, if
In
you
fact, fun note: the IMAX crew was actually part of this film, climbing up it. So that's kind of a cool thing. But other than that, yeah.
the visuals in Everest weren't
Yeah.
that good.
Anyway,
Wait for
so-
it on Netflix. But yeah, I recommend The Martian. It's great fun, good script, all that stuff. And I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I don't know if you used to rate, but that's
But,
me.
fair enough.
I would recommend The Martian. I think it's keeping up the trend of recent space films, which we're about to talk about. Recently, obviously, Gravity, Interstellar, and there's another one came out at the same time as the year as these previous two films, roughly. And I hope there's more. To be honest, definitely enjoy it. Would recommend. You probably won't remember it too much in a year, but it's definitely worth seeing. Out of all the films this year, it's one of the ones to watch.
I
at
think
least.
it's a good Friday night movie. Just to stick on
It is.
with.
It's very
Like, get a
entertaining.
takeaway
It's
and just stick it on.
light-hearted. You could watch it with a couple of friends, family, and just enjoy it. It's quite adventurous as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's I think I said last week I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. Well, because he created two of my favorite sci-fi films. But this, of course, never naturally does not go near that caliber. But that's nothing bad. This was a total different film. Not as memorable, but it's still good. I agree. Everything you said, I agree with. So, is Ridley Scott back?
I think it's hard to say at this point because if we also remember that while he directed this film and made it really good, this was adapted heavily from a novel,
It was written by Drew Goddard.
and the novel was fantastic. So, I mean,
I think if another director did this, I don't think there'd be much differences. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there never feels like there's a touch from Ridley Scott on this.
I know if Guillermo del Toro did it, there'd be some weird aliens already floating about.
You'd be
Little
hallucinating.
grey men.
You'd be hallucinating halfway through the movie, imagining little grey Martians.
Charlie
with
Hunnam would
Jason.
hallucinate before him. It'd be great. Jaegers.
The Martians are coming after you, Clay. But yeah,
That's one fan ass.
So yeah, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, Friday night movie. Somewhere you can just sit back, relax, and watch it.
enjoy it with a couple of friends.
If you're expecting, Scott to be back, sorry to disappoint, but it's not.
He's not dead. I think that's what you should take away.
He's not.
It's a positive note in a bumpy chapter in his book recently.
Yeah.
50 million miles away from home. He thinks he's totally alone. He thinks we gave up on him. I mean, what does that do to him, man, psychologically? The hell is he thinking right now?
I'm definitely gonna die up here.
Definitely. So, on to our next thing where we talk about The Martian and Interstellar and Gravity. And,
Yes.
Well, just sci-fi films in general. Just a little
I
conversation.
think I should note I've not seen either Interstellar or Gravity, so I'll probably be quiet for the next 10 minutes.
You do know at least a fair deal. I mean, you could comment on our opinions on it, but we're going to keep this fairly short. We're not going to sort of rant too long about it.
You say that.
But I think we'll
Well,
start
off.
with
Let's
Paul.
say. Well, only be Ryan can comment on this, but off those three films, I know you can't. They're all actually very different from each other.
Yeah.
What would you list these? What were your more enjoyable?
I would have to say Interstellar is number one. I'm a big fan of, and it's not because it's a Christopher Nolan film. That's
calling bullshit.
it's really not. It's because it's a sci-fi fantasy adventure that has some scope of realism as to where humans may one day need to go. I've always been fascinated by that subject, that people go, well, we should save the planet, and it's like, but what if the planet can't be saved? What if we have to, Anyway, I'm being told to move on. So, secondly, I would probably say The Martian. I guess because it has the story and the visuals. But Gravity's visuals are absolutely stunning. So it's very hard to debate what one I'd pick over the other. But by no means is Gravity bad or anything. I still love Gravity, but it would come third on my list.
Well, first would be not by a large margin, but probably Interstellar. Simply because Interstellar was, I don't know. I like that. I like the fact that it's science fantasy. That's what it is. Martian seemed to be more. Stop it!
That's inappropriate and unchristian, Ryan.
I didn't interrupt you. The Martian, grounded in reality, I felt it was more believable than Interstellar, but that's not taking away from Interstellar. Gravity, again, was also fairly believable, but it was not really much science behind it, other than it was NASA. I didn't really get in from that. So, first I'd put Interstellar, then Martian, then Gravity, because Gravity, as much the visuals were great, but I felt there was no real substance to it.
I'll say again, and I keep saying this to people who are looking for a complex story. Gravity isn't a film for a complex story. You do not need a complex story.
Just what a story,
It's the
though.
story of a mother, essentially. She's lost her child, blah, blah, blah. She happens to go to space, and it's her confronting getting on with her life. I mean, that's the big running metaphor through it. But it's along the way. I mean, it's visually beautiful.
No, I agree. It's visually
The
beautiful, but
the
it's-
last sort of 4 minutes with when she's on Tiangong, and re-entering the atmosphere, and the music, the visuals, the power of it is just it's amazing. Like, I love that film.
Love the way you all said. You
Even
said
just for that one scene. But I mean, all the scenes of Gravity are like amazing. I love all 90 minutes of it.
The
It's not
visuals,
even a long film
the
either.
visuals in Gravity top there too. The top Interstellars, I'd say as well.
Yes.
It's
But
just I felt Gravity just, even though the visuals were great, even though it was thoroughly enjoyable to watch, and you say, oh, I don't need a story, complex story. A story. I just felt there was nothing there. There was nothing. I didn't connect with the characters whatsoever.
I guess, but you're
I
not
feel-
human. I think from a human perspective, quickly, everyone has dealt with that loss, and I think the idea of it, well, where I come from, because I love relating to films, being all sentimental, but it's being alone. I mean, you know, the main character Sandra Bullock even goes, you know, space is just empty. There's nothing that can hurt you up here and whatnot, and it's just I've got nothing to live for anymore. And I think we'd be lying to ourselves if we've never contemplated a part of our lives that has been like that. So I think it's a lot more relatable than people give it credit for. But you know, people have an apathy towards talking about their feelings. That's my take on it. You can call it bullshit if you want, but
no, I think that's a fair point. I think that's fair. It's just I didn't take any of that. I just sat and went, "Oh, that was a fun ride." It's like
yeah,
a roller
I
coaster.
can understand. I'm not gonna.
Thanks. I don't know. I'd never got in that. That never grasped me. It was just the visuals. I was more impressed, and nothing else interested me.
I think I've still got the cellophane at home.
Interstellar. Even though I still don't know how I feel about the whole Tesseract scene. I don't want to argue because I still don't know how I feel myself. It's sort of iffy because it's. Well, I like Interstellar the best because it was different. However, on top of all them, it's 2001: Space Odyssey. So.
Oh yeah, like I cannot like comment against 2001: A Space Odyssey. Christopher Nolan even came out and said, you know, 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of his favourite films, as well as Blade Runner actually. So
you
to
can't
Ridley
not like
Scott's
Blade
credit.
Runner.
Oh no, of course not. And he also said that he took some inspiration, like the docking scene in Interstellar was taken essentially from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Christopher Nolan took heavy influence from it, but in saying that, I mean, he still made it his own thing. I think what Interstellar also gets bonus points for is the use of film over digital.
I'm so sorry.
When we looked at The Martian, it was far too clean. And I use that word a lot nowadays, but digital cameras film things far too clean. Proper film has a grit to it. And it just made the visuals in Interstellar just so much more.
It was only certain scenes though, because the pretty scenes were using the IMAX cameras.
It was mostly the space scenes,
and that's when you could tell the aspect ratio kept changing.
The scene at Saturn, the black hole, the wormhole, the scenes that counted the most, I think, in terms of visuals, and it gets top props for that. I think I also love the scope of it. I understand if some people like it or dislike it even, but I think the issue is so many audiences are just adapted to liking a simple story, and Christopher Nolan has these massive scopes of what he wants to do, and it doesn't always fit into a film, which is where his films sometimes run into trouble. But I think, you know, a film like Interstellar gains credit for what it wanted and what it tried to grasp at.
Yeah. I agree with that.
The Tesseract scene caught me off guard initially, but I like the idea behind it, because
it was behind the whole. I was playing it to you, Kieran. It was basically.
I was playing it to the dum dum in the room.
No, I was playing it to you because you're sitting there all quiet.
It's very
Is
trippy.
there a glowing cube that Thanos wants?
It's basically, I guess it's well, that's how I see it. It was based on sort of no time travel theory, with paradoxes and stuff. Not mean that sort of thing.
In a black hole, the science is the theory behind a black hole that we're kind of close to understanding is that in a black hole, your past, present, and future sort of happen at the same time. So it's relating to Matthew McConaughey's character because he's in the present. In time, what time is relative to him, but he's in his daughter's past, which can affect the future.
Like it's the future affecting the past.
Yes,
I think it's the way to do it. It's very off-putting. It's very heavy, and
fuck, my brain hurts.
That's basically it's the future affecting the past.
Oh, you should see what it looks like.
Oh
god,
it's very off-putting. I think it turned a lot of people off the film, and I think understandably.
I think it made her broke the film for a lot of people.
You can't even describe it without
Made or
saying
break.
brick.
I was watching my family for like a second time, and up until the scene they were going, I was really enjoying this film, but now it's all
Someone
this.
walked out of the IMAX when I went to see it last year. I went to see it myself. I sat down in IMAX, enjoyed the hell out of it. Was caught off guard myself. Then as the credits rolled and the music played, I just went, I absolutely loved it. Someone got up out of his seat and just went, that was utter shite. And I told him he was a Philistine. I couldn't stand. I can't stand like typical audiences. Sometimes I just get so infuriated with like some of the utter crap they come out, because just the scope of the film and the story that this director wanted to tell.
You're gonna feel it on the East Coast.
And I'm just sorry. I'm going to get passionate about this.
I think we don't have enough time to cover this.
No,
We don't have enough time.
we don't.
Okay,
Don't,
well, one thing to say, next week there's a lot of stuff coming out.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yes,
we've
I
got-
think we should do an October preview right now.
We're gonna-
yeah,
should
I
fire
think
off.
what I was about to say.
Alright.
We've got Macbeth.
Hail
which-
Macbeth!
I'm excited for Macbeth.
I'm
Um,
looking forward to Macbeth.
I
The
like
trailer
Michael
called me.
Fassbender, and the trailer looks
Yeah.
Mike
awesome.
Fassbender, I'm convinced of. Also, however, I don't think it will top my favourite Macbeth adaptation, Throne Blood.
Othello.
What? Othello?
Othello.
Othello's great.
Yeah, Othello's great, but I'm talking about my Macbeth adaptation, mate.
Mate, do you even Merchant of Venice,
Um,
bruh?
So,
But Othello was made into a film.
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it probably was.
Are we talking about the version that's seen in Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No. Anyway, sorry. Let's move on.
So yeah, I'm very looking forward to Macbeth. I think it looks pretty sweet. Macbeth's a great story anyway, so I don't think you can really do much more wrong with it. You then got a film
Sicario.
I'm very much looking for. Yeah, Sicario by Dennis. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his second name, but he's
You poser.
the director of Prisoners, Enemy, and Incendies. I've only seen two of those, Prisoners and Incendies, two fantastic films. Enemy, I've heard, is also good. So Sicario is one of my top picks to be looking forward to. this month.
My top pick of this year has been waiting. I've been waiting since it was announced last year, and that is Guillermo del Toro's gothic romance and horror, Crimson Peak, on the 16th of October.
Yeah.
And being a big Guillermo del Toro fan, he can do absolutely no wrong in my eyes. It features Tom Hiddleston, Mia
Kalowski.
Was this
Wasikowski.
Wasikowski?
I think it's Wasikowski and Jessica Chastain, and it just
And the Hunnam.
it looks and Charlie Hunnam
And
it
Ron
just-
Perlman at some point. He's going to turn up at some
He'll
point.
turn up as a ghost. It looks great. It's a throwback to and a tribute to the classic horrors of
Like Hammer.
the
Hammer
very
horrors.
first horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hammer horrors. And
What real horrors are.
I can't wait for it. I'm really ecstatic about seeing this film.
Well, of course we've got Spectre. Which
I keep on forgetting about Spectre. It's like covert.
that's at the end of the month.
Yeah,
I keep on
we have
forgetting
the
about
big one, which is
don't
obviously.
I
think
mean, we all love the theme
No,
song, don't we, guys?
Well, we just you put in the Facebook chat group. I mean, page.
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. Go
and people were like, yeah, it's Guff. We're the same. It's Guff. It's
I think it works as a pop song. It's not a James Bond.
It's not a
theme.
James Bond
It's
song.
really not a
It's
James
not
Bond
a
theme.
James
Snake
Bond
Eater.
song.
Snake Eater is the best James Bond theme.
You should start a petition,
It's
Paul.
subject.
Sick, man.
There's a good few other films that I'm forgetting of. The Walk is out.
Oh
on the
shit!
9th.
Yeah, the walk.
Oh shit!
To be honest, I think it's just for the gimmick,
I think
and I
it's-
can't wait because I got a bit of vertigo during the trailer.
I didn't really.
I did a bit.
What's
but
that?
tall buildings and that
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He's a French
Just,
man.
a French
a terrible French accent.
We'll show the stupid Americans who looks
I
like
thought
a
he was-
fraud.
You like coffee? You got this coffee?
I thought he was Russian at first.
No, he's
He was
French. He was a Frenchman.
Russian his accent.
So
Because there's even a part where he's looking at the Eiffel Tower compared to the height of the Twin Towers. So it's because just in case you forget he's French, I guess.
Oh, bon me.
Anyway,
we're
that
reaching up
is-
to 38 minutes. Let's
that is
wrap up.
that is October. We will try and blast out reviews on as many of these movies as
I think we're
possible.
going to have to go out double feature reviews, guys.
Yeah, we may start some double features. We may be having a Halloween special coming up as well, where we just talk about classic horrors.
Oh, should we try and get the people now to get them suggestions in?
Sure.
What about this? Why don't we? I was going to say suggest, but yeah, I think it's best we let people decide what horror to watch.
I think we should have
Yeah.
a good horror people recommend,
Shit
a bad horror, And a horror
They're
that
numerous.
looks shit but is good in
wild
honor of our
card.
GUB.
No, a wild card.
Wild card.
A wild card of sorts.
Wild card round.
Yeah, I'm for that.
Okay.
Okay. So
But
as usual,
what if we've already seen it? Well, I guess we'll just watch it again.
We'll watch it again. Kev, do you want to take us out?
yes. So please, we have a Facebook page now, don't we, gentlemen?
Yes.
So
The GUB
please
at
go
Facebook.
like. We post daily content, asking questions. And,
No, you do.
well, I do.
I'm
Used to be
getting
a shit-
better.
Yeah.
I'm getting better.
I just call everyone suckers. No.
But yeah, we're getting there. We have
Facebook,
opinions,
we're working on a
polls.
We're trying to figure out the polls. I still can't figure it out.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll have a Twitter soon. We're
Yeah.
We plan to this weekend. Depending how fast I can get this video out.
how quick
But
Paul gets
this
his shit
Saturday
together.
we'll if we do get it, we'll do Until Dawn. We'll go do Until Dawn and we'll go live feed it on Twitter.
I will probably powerbomb someone at some point.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
We might do it. We
Um,
might do a live feed. I'm not too sure.
I don't think we'll be able to do live feed.
Not
live
yet.
tweet.
Maybe not
Live
this week,
tweet,
but
live-
we will
Some
eventually.
videos, little videos.
We also have a YouTube channel, just the
for
GUB.
OVs.
And we also have our blogs on WordPress.
Yes, you can
Kev,
find
what's
them.
yours?
It's just Kev Things.
Mine is Cinematic Limbo. And Paul?
Mine is a non-Welshman.
Yep. And you can find us there. And on pretty much every social media site or form of blog.
We're floating about. We're
Yeah,
kind of like the
getting
sewer.
there.
We're the sewer. We're floating
We're
about.
creeping up from the depths of Scotland to take on the mainstream Americans and their YouTube videos.
Yankee Doodle dandies.
Yeah, until next time, folks.
Thank you.
This has been the GUB.
See you later.